Okay, everybody, this is going to be the quickest video I can make for you of the t-shirt style tie mask. I've got my t-shirt. I'm going to go ahead and hand press it out, put it along my board and cut. Now you can do this with scissors. I just happen to have the rotary cutters, so don't despair. Cut off the hem, discard that, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to cut this all the way up to the neck. I'm only going to do 2 right now because I'm trying to make this video as quick as you can. You're going to cut 1-inch strips. I've got it folded in half, you can see. 1-inch strips all the way up until you can no longer get strips. You should get about 15 to 16 strips per t-shirt. It depends on the size of the t-shirt you received in your kit. So now here are my straps. Normally I have an assembly line. Here's my 8 by 7-inch piece of fabric that I cut out of those columns, and I'm going to do right side to hold on a second, here we go. Okay, here we go. Front of the mask is the right side, the back of the mask is the wrong side. So now when people wear their masks, they know the right side from the wrong side. So put right side and wrong side together. Take everything over to your sewing machine. And the part that you're going to have to be really careful about is the mask is always 8 inches in width across the face. So I just checked myself because it's only a 7 by 8 rectangular. It's really easy to get confused. So this is my 8-inch width. This is the top of the mask. You can see that it looks like this on the back. Now I'm going to sew always no more than a 1/4 inch seam. No more than a 1/4 inch seam. And I'm going to sew across that 8-inch top. Just like so. Then this is now becomes the inside of my mask. You can see the seam. So now I know the seam is on the inside. I'm going to make the pocket. So I'm just going to do a quick rolled hem. I'm going to go ahead and zigzag, I think, because it's going to be a tiny little hem. And so you can do either a straight stitch or a zigzag. I'm just going to go ahead and do a zigzag because I'm going to try to keep this hem as tiny as I can. Just roll it by hand. Don't worry about pressing. This does not have to be perfect. Now I know that this is the inside again, so I'm just going to turn it around, roll the other side up. I'm not even back stitching because eventually I'm going to, I have an old cheap machine, so it's going to get sewn down the side, so I'm not even worried about back stitching. I'm just going to sew it off, clip my edges. Now I'm just going to match up these ends and go to my ironing board. At this point, you have your mask base. I think I'm just going to take a second and press it. At least it'll look a little nicer. It'd be easier to work with. So this is now my mask base. You can see that I have a finished edge pocket and I have a right and a wrong side. So now I'm just going to go ahead and pleat down about approximately maybe 1.5 inches, maybe. Pin it to my board, my ironing board. I just eyeball this. Don't despair on any of this. This is pretty easy to do. Should end up with about like maybe 1 inch at the bottom. Sometimes I have to readjust and it takes a second to do it. If you have to do it, just do it. There's my mask. Now it should end up to be about 3 inches to 4 inches from top to bottom. Take your iron, steam it in place. It's so easy. Steam it in place. There's my mask. I remove my pins. I don't use pins at the sewing machine. Take my pins off. A lot of times when I'm doing this, most of the time I just assembly line myself. So I make all of these and stack them. But since I'm with you, a 1/4 inch seam to base it in place. I'm gonna do a straight edge. Sorry. Whoops. Get over to a 1/4 inch. I'm just doing my basting here. Flip it over, baste it up. Okay, I'm just going to trim off all my little threads. If you don't do it while you go, that's fine. I just like to do it as I go. There's the base of my mask. Here's my straps that I've cut with my t-shirt. They're going to come out in a loop. This particular t-shirt does not have a seam on it. Some of the t-shirts have side seams, and I use the side seams for my marking my middle. But since this doesn't, I'll just find the middle. Can't really see this very good, but I let the curled edge act normally as the sew over, so I'm letting that curl edge help me bend it to the fabric. I just try to do it as evenly as I can from front to back. Stick it in place. Get it started. And then if you want, you can straight stitch. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do the zigzag because it just helps catch everything. Whoops. And then going to go to the other side and do the same. Cut my loop. Find the middle. Lay it out so the curled side is toward me, and then lay my mask in. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go back and zigzag again just to sturdy it, but since our video is running, I'm not going to right now. If you just take these and you stretch them, depending on the material of the t-shirt, they turn into kind of a tie, so pull real tight each one. You can see they roll over, so we're not going to sew those down. Pull them together. I usually cut them off at about 15.5. And there's your tie mask. Just go through and clip all these little edges because they tickle people's faces. And there you go. All right. Good luck. Sew on.